Hi everyone, do you sweat the small stuff, which is to me the soul stuff? So do you remember when that book came out? I think I even looked it up. It was in the late 90s, like 97, 98, about sweating the small stuff and that it's all small stuff. Well, to me, I switched that to think that if we're sweating something out, if we're worrying about something, then it's probably got a lesson embedded in it. And I talk to clients about this a lot because when they come in talking about something that is uncomfortable for them, I let them talk through it, and then they pretty much know I'm going to ask them, what are you learning? What is it you're supposed to be evolving beyond? Because it is all soul stuff. It's stuff that it's trying to get our attention. It's trying to get us alert that there is something we can learn from whatever the situation is. So to me, all of the small stuff and all of the big stuff is soul stuff. And so I'm going to bring in my book here for a second. Many of you know that this book is coming out tomorrow on Friday, the May 18th. And what's cool about this is that it's finally getting there. What was not so cool about it is that there has been a lot of soul stuff involved in getting this one out. Now, my dissertation was not as hard to get out there. My thesis was not hard to get out there. A lot of other projects just weren't hard to get out there. So it was very, very interesting to me that there were all kinds of little glitches that happened with this book. That in getting the book through the point where I can release it tomorrow, all kinds of glitches, and all along the way I'm trying to learn from it, trying to be patient, trying to kind of glean the information from it. And for the most part, I stayed pretty calm. There were times there, though, I wanted to pull my own hair out. But as of a couple days ago, I was kind of done. There were glitches that were happening all the way up until yesterday. And what was fascinating about this whole thing was that I knew that there are lessons in this. I knew that there were things that were going on that behind the scenes in the bigger world that I was not aware of until it was going to come clear for me. So for me, I was trying not to sweat the soul stuff, soul health stuff. And I did come up with some things that just popped out to me that were interfering and that I had to be aware of in order to really get soul health out into the world. And so I want you to really think about, what is the soul stuff that you are ignoring? What are the things that you are not paying attention to that basically could help you evolve? Anything that gets under our skin, and I mean anything that gets under our skin, anything that upsets us in any way, whether we become sad about it, tearful about it, upset about it, scared about it, fearful about it, aggravated about it, irritated about it, all of those events and experiences have golden nuggets embedded in them so that we can learn. And so people don't look at life like that. People look at life as if it's a pain in the wazoo. And yes, at times it is a pain in the wazoo, but if you can step back and get a bigger view on what's really happening, you can figure out what the lesson is. So I've really tried to help my clients and workshop participants and other people really start to step back and get a bigger view, get a widened lens of what was going on at that particular moment so that they could glean the information that they needed. So I think it's just a really important thing for us to remember that it is all soul stuff. It is all here to help us evolve. If we don't step back and look at whatever we're supposed to look at, we're going to keep experiencing the same things over and over and over again. And so for me, I'm looking forward to this launch tomorrow for lots of reasons. And, number one, I want to get this out into the world. The new edition has a lot more information in it in terms of self-love. I think the biggest thing about trying to get healthy, trying to get ourselves where we want to be, whether it is emotionally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy, socially healthy, any of the 10 branches that I talk about on this in this book. Whatever we are trying to get to, we have to love ourselves enough to get there. And as far as sweating the small stuff, do we want to get mired circling that drain of basically thinking and worrying about the same stuff, or do we want to step back and really take a look at what is it that I'm supposed to glean from this? What can I learn from this so I can move beyond it and not have to keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over again? So in this whole process of getting this book out here, I think one of the things that came back to me is that right now I have a very busy life, very busy. I was trying to get this book out. I was doing this big program up in New York City. I've got a very full client load. I've got all these other projects I'm trying to get done. And it's about slowing down. One part of this was about slowing down for me and paying more attention to detail. And I think that was one of the things I needed to just glean from it. And then there are bigger things I needed to glean from this. But I think the thing is, in the grand scheme of things, this was all soul stuff. It was all little teeny tiny things that I did not allow in most cases to get under my skin. But I also was staying conscious to learn from them. So I want you to stay conscious about what you're supposed to be learning from in your soul stuff, all that small stuff that we kind of get tied up in and mired in, but we don't move beyond. So hope that starts to stir some things, because that small stuff is soul stuff, and it is part of our evolution. And that's the whole key, is what do we need to evolve beyond. So I'm looking very forward to being able to release this to you tomorrow. Look for a link very early in the morning so you can go order your copy, and have a great rest of today. Thanks. Bye-bye.